You're listening to WKDW Radio 97.5 and KDWRadio.com, broadcasting from the Bishop West Real Estate Mobile Tower right here in absolutely gorgeous and dry, not rainy season yet. Billy and I were just talking about that. Very beautiful out. Just take your time, relax, get home safe. It is Monday. I'm more critical on Fridays, but there's no reason to rush tonight either. Just relax, 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 and really just try to be kind to others. If we can keep everybody out of the hospital right now, that'd be a good thing. So I've got Billy from Public Works on task on the show today. How are you doing, Billy?
I'm doing great, and it's funny you should mention Mondays. Everybody kind of dreads Mondays, um, and my buddy texted me last night. Said the very same thing. It's. I wish tomorrow wasn't Monday. Here comes Monday, and I currently, at least for the next few weeks, I'm on the complete flip side of thing because, and this is something that some of our listeners will be excited to hear about. Folks in the estates, Frontier is back to fiber optic installation work on the east side of Sumter Boulevard. So all the neighborhoods on the west have pretty much been locked in. Everything north of 75 locked in, got their fiber optic, all that stuff. Uh, Frontier has pulled the permits for the east side to start working in the right of ways and stuff like that. They haven't shown up in the neighborhoods yet, but soon, any day now.
Right.
And so they actually went around in the neighborhoods and dropped off flyers a couple weeks ago. And I called them to find out because we've been out there for 11 years now, and the internet out there is just dreadful, right? And I
If
called
not,
them up and said, please just give me some kind of hope. And so they said the target date for our address, for our neighborhood, is May 31st. So the way I'm choosing to look at that is we have 5 more Mondays and we will have futuristic internet. I say futuristic, it's actually, more up to speed with modern day technology than what we've been dealing with. So for the east side of the neighborhood, five more Mondays for some of us to finally get quality internet out there. And then on top of that, Comcast has actually gone through and pulled the permits on all the same work that Frontier did on the west side, as well as the east side. So they are sniffing around the neighborhood as well, which is super exciting. So most people dread Mondays. I'm on the flip side, at least for the next month, where I'm like, hey, every Monday is 1 week down. Let's do this. We're 5 Mondays away. 5.
that's awesome. I mean, when you think about it, though, we've had several opportunities now uh, for that to happen out there, and thank goodness it's finally happening. Correct?
Absolutely, absolutely. And the one big thing difference between Comcast and Frontier is we know some of the neighborhoods off of Ponce de Leon, south of the interstate, are kind of been in that internet purgatory where they've got internet. It's not great, but Frontier at this juncture had not had any plans to expand FiOS into that area. Comcast is actually looking to bring it to the Skyview Hornbuckle area off of Ponce, so the east side of Ponce, at least a few neighborhoods there, which is big for some of those neighborhoods there. I know it's been a point of contention, especially with kids doing school from home more these days, than obviously a few years ago. Um, so Comcast is expanding into a couple areas that it doesn't seem Frontier is ready to yet, but good news is there could be options coming in the near future.
Well, it's been forever, I think, since people actually had quality internet out there. Correct?
Oh, for sure. In 11 years, we are currently at the best we've had, and we're paying over $60 for 5 over 3. And so they have on the other side of our neighborhood, if we took a short 2 minute drive across Sumter Boulevard, 500 meg internet available for, I think, like $50, $60. And I'm thinking every month I'm paying more than my neighbors on that side of the neighborhood for literally 100 times less speed. It
Right.
is
And,
beyond frustrating.
but competition is a good thing, and the housing numbers out there really supported it now, where it didn't
Yes,
support it before.
yes, absolutely. And I know they even, when Verizon still controlled the internet out there, and even shortly after they sold it to Frontier, I know there had been a couple of discussions on the neighborhood pages out there uh, from people who had talked to them, and they just said, "Listen, there's not enough people living out there to make it worth it, because it's obviously laying that kind of infrastructure and having staff to come out there and dig with all the heavy machinery and everything's like that. It's a costly venture for sure, and to not have necessarily really dense neighborhoods out there has kind of dissuaded them for a while. But we're getting to a point now where it seems like every few months there's a new home going up, even in our neighborhood, which has been, you know, scarcely but not scarcely populated. We've got probably about a dozen houses on our street, and some of the neighborhoods behind us are starting to develop and things like that. So I think there's been more incentive, especially when you're talking about a lot of our side of the neighborhood is not even on Frontier. Like, we were lucky. When we moved in, we had a previous account with Verizon, and the previous homeowners had Verizon installed there, so there was already a box. We were able to get the seat, but even our next door neighbors, when they called, I think even just 2-3 years ago when they moved in, they were told, "Hey, there's no seats available. Sorry." And they're working on satellite internet, which obviously, as we know, especially summertime in Florida, kind of less than ideal. So we are, and I was actually talking to my next door neighbor the other day about it. We are maybe a month or two, maybe 3 months from going from what feels like AOL dial up internet to, now we've got options on which high speed choice we want to take.
Well, that's going to change a lot of opportunity in the estate area too.
For sure. For sure. I know we've had a couple business lines, people that just couldn't wait and paid to have, business lines run out to their home businesses out there. And, I think that I've spoken with a few residents who, there's one woman I've spoken with, she checks in fairly regularly, and she has to pay for a separate office space to be able to go in and operate her business from home, and because it's just not tenable where she's at. So, there's I've spoken to a few residents like that, and to be able, especially in today's age where the internet is what it is, and especially post COVID, where everybody started kind of taking their work remote or starting businesses from home, having something like this enables people to do that. Whereas before, if you had to have anything done, via internet, it's not tenable. I can tell you, having two children who had to do school from home for a period during 2020, it is not, it's less than ideal. Let's say that.
Well, this has been one of the talking points for, gosh, a long time. Probably 3 or 4 cycles of commissioners at this point. It
Right.
seems like everybody that gets elected says, "Hey, we're going to make a push for high speed internet. We've got to come, full circle in our community." Well, the biggest thing I can take out of that is in listening to you and talk about this, is that commissioners, they can talk all the game they want to, as
it appears that we've actually lost John. I'm just checking in with him here, see where things go. Hey, John. Oh, man. Interesting. Because I'm still up. We're still live here. No, your line went down, and it looked like I was still live, and you were frozen. I am absolutely. um, I'm. Re- we, would you be able to connect with your phone? That's very strange. Kind of ironic, given the conversation. Interesting. Okay. Alrighty. Sure. Absolutely. All right, bye. Okay, so apologize for the delay there. Just talking to John, and apparently he has lost internet on his connection. So he has asked me to go ahead and sign out with everybody. We'll see if we can get things back up and going, but at this time he is out of internet. Kind of ironic given the conversation we're having, but we will see if we can get back up in a little bit here. Bye, guys.
I'm going to end it right now. I'll show it to RJ, and here we go. We are live on air. Hi, everybody. Hi, we're coming in. The internet went down on John Rawlings, so we're going to turn it off from here. Sorry about that, people, but we are off air. And then